You're in the zone, the superhero zone. Cue intro. Hello, and welcome to Superheroes 101. My name's Xavier, and I'll be your host. And welcome to the 5th episode of my Loki, Mischief, and Mayhem series. This series where we talk all things Loki. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 best parts of the Loki series episode 4. So if you're prepared for this crazy ride, let's jump right into the video. And if you're interested in my superhero related content, you can follow me on Instagram at xavier.lee101 and my TikTok at xavier.lee6. I take video suggestions and all cool, awesome, fun content over there, so you should go check it out. But now, let's get right to it. Starting off at number 5, we have Ravonna Renslayer took out C20. So C20 was the agent that originally got enchanted by Sylvie. Now, Sylvie also enchanted B15, but as we know, B15 later on in this episode gets shown the truth by Sylvie, and she joins Loki and Sylvie's side, and eventually gets knocked out by one of the evil Minutemen. But anyway, we're talking about C20 right now. C20, once she was snapped back into reality, back into her normal self, she started telling Ravonna Renslayer that, oh, I know this is all a lie, and you guys should really stop, you're all variants. And then Renslayer was recording this at the time, and Mobius had switched his and Renslayer's tempad so he could see this, and he was watching it, and basically it cut the recording basically when C20 was reset. Well, we don't know if she's dead or reset or whatever they did with her, but all we know is that Ravonna Renslayer, it was very evil, and she really showed her true colors in this episode, and it was absolutely crazy. I feel like this episode was the craziest of all the episodes so far. I know I said that about episode 2, but now I mean this about episode 4. So, yeah. Next up at number 4, we have Lady Sif returns. So, as we know, Lady Sif didn't get snapped with the rest of the Asgardians, and also she didn't get killed on the rest of Asgardians because she wasn't on Asgard when Ragnarok happened, and we were originally thinking that she was going to come in Thor Love and Thunder because she is scheduled to be in Thor Love and Thunder, but she actually showed up in Loki. Basically what happened is Loki gets thrown in this timed looped cage simulator, and basically it shows that Loki cut off Sif's hair. This happened in Norse mythology. So basically Loki cut off Sif's hair, and then each time Sif would punch him and kick him in the groin and tell him that he would always be alone. And then he tells her later on that he did it because he fears being alone. And then when Sif finally helped him after a while, and then she said the same thing, you will always be alone. And really this is hard to hear because this is probably what Loki has been hearing his entire life, and really Loki has a problem with self-love. That's what this episode was really mostly about. Coming up at number 3, we have Renslayer knows more than she's letting on. Now Renslayer in this episode really was showing the villain side of her, because all we've seen is her bantering with Mobius, like they had a little romantic relationship, and it was kind of cute banner. But now she pruned that man, the man that liked her. Like seriously, just because she realized that he was a variant and that the TVA was fake, literally. And that was painful to watch when Mobius got pruned. It was very painful. It was so painful that Renslayer flinched. And honestly, Renslayer has to be working for King at this point, because as we know, the Timekeepers are fake because Sylvie literally sliced their one's head off, and it was destroyed. So yeah. And also Renslayer, I feel like we're gonna know more about her in the next episode. Renslayer is also being threatened by Sylvie to tell her what she knows. And this moment really reminds me of the Thanos and Scarlet Witch moment in Avengers Endgame, when Scarlet Witch went, you took everything from me, and Thanos went, I don't even know who you are. And then she went, you will. And then the moment in this episode earlier on when Sylvie asked in the elevator scene, what was my Nexus event? What did I do wrong? Renslayer's like, I don't remember. And then later on, Sylvie goes, you're gonna tell me everything I know. So that was her kind of, you will, like Scarlet Witch said in Endgame. And I thought that was kind of like a parallel, and it was really, really cool. Rolling up at number 2, we have Loki Isn't Dead. In this episode, Loki gets pruned by Renslayer when Loki was about to tell Sylvie that he loves her. Now, no, I don't think this is a love relationship, and here's why. I think Loki is finally learning to love himself, because all his life, he hasn't loved himself. That's why he's done these villain things. He's always doubted himself. He's always put himself down. He's always hated himself. So him about to tell Sylvie that he likes her was really his way of saying that I love myself. And that's why in the first clip of this episode, when Sylvie and Loki are talking about how they survive because they're Lokis, it caused a Nexus level event is because Loki was learning to love himself because he has love issues. Anyway, Loki gets pruned right when he was about to tell Sylvie. Loki gets pruned by Renslayer. Ooh, I don't like her. Anyway, Loki gets pruned. Then at the end post-credit scene, yes, finally we got a post-credit scene. At the end post-credit scene, he wakes up in like a damaged world with other Loki variants next to him. Now, we had classic Loki, we had Kid Loki, we had alligator or crocodile Loki, I can't really tell, and then we had bashful Loki according to the credits, the one with the hammer. Now, what do I think this world is that they're in? I think this world is Battle World. Battle World took place in Secret Wars, and basically in Battle World, the TVA, that's where all the TVA variants and places that they pruned went, and it combined one full world. Because remember, none of the TVA members are Nexus level beings, so they can't add or delete anything from the sacred timeline. So it had to go somewhere, and it started creating a planet that could be in a pocket dimension outside of time, or a planet in a distant galaxy. We really don't know at this point, but I think it's Battle World. And honestly, the only person who can add and take away from the multiverse and sacred timeline is the Scarlet Witch, because she is a Nexus level being. The sacred timeline wouldn't have released that much chaos in that being if she wasn't meant to be around. And that's what Sylvie kind of explains in the beginning of the episode, was that the sacred timeline wants to be freed. It wants to break free of this sacred timeline because it's really supposed to be a multiverse. The multiversal world that they talked about in the episode 1, the timekeepers could have existed at one time, and then Kang, or whoever the main villain is, came in and destroyed them and replaced them with robot versions of himself, and he talked for the robot versions. Hence the reason why they're robots. But yeah, we really don't know. What I was trying to say before was Sylvie said that the sacred timeline is tired of being under its magical restraints. That's why it released chaos, like Sylvie being a lady version of Loki. It wanted that chaos to branch the timeline and create a multiverse again, because I feel like that's the only healthy way to have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then finally at number 1, the most interesting realization that I've had while watching this episode was there is more magic going on in the TVA than we realize. Because think about it, at the beginning of this episode, Renslayer was upset because she had to go tell the timekeepers that the Lokis got away and it was her fault. And yeah, so she went to the timekeepers. Right before the credits rolled, we see the timekeepers, the most important one in the middle, and the 2 other ones by the side, and we see a giant red mark in the background. Then it cut to the early credits. And then yeah, so that red mark that was behind them, I think it was a rune. As we know, runes seen in WandaVision, in Agatha's basement, and Scarlet Witch had all over her hex bubble to stop Agatha. In a given space, the runes stop magic from any witch or wizard that has magic in the area where the runes have been casted. But the person who casts the runes can use their powers at free will. That's why I think more magic is in the TVA than we realize. Yes, the villain may be Kang or whoever, but I'm going to say it's Kang from now on until we get official confirmation who the villain is. I'm thinking it's Kang, but Kang doesn't have magical abilities. I think it's another powerful being, like a magical being, like Dormammu, but I don't feel like Dormammu has anything to do with this. I think it's Chthon. Chthon in the comics is basically the god of chaos. He's the one who created the Darkhold and created the Scarlet Witch and gave her the abilities. If he is one of the main villains in this show, and he may be in Multiverse Madness as well, it's really setting up Multiverse of Madness. And if he is one of the villains of this show, it makes sense why the magic users can't use their magic inside of the TVA. And really, if it's Chthon, they're probably going to want to mix that character with another powerful magic character, so kids don't get confused or scared, because Chthon is a scary looking character in the comics, and he's scary. So yeah. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Loki episode 4. Leave down in the comments below your theories and thoughts about this episode and this video. And thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications so that you get notified every time I post, go live, or premiere a video on this very channel. Also, if you're interested in my superhero related content, you can follow me on Instagram at xavier.lee101 and my TikTok at xavier.lee6 for any cool, fun, awesome contents. I also take video suggestions on there. And my posting schedule is Mondays, Fridays, and sometimes Wednesdays. And I hope you liked this video. If you haven't seen this episode, you should go watch it because it was amazing. And no spoilers down in the comments below. And yeah, if you want more content from me, you're gonna have to wait till my next video. And remember, the timekeepers are always watching. Bye, you guys.